What up, world? It's KQ. Before I get started and tell you the topic tonight, I just want to say thank you, heartfelt thank you to everyone that's texted me, that's called me and just said, thank you, man. It's made me open my eyes. It's made me see things different. It's made me look at myself and say, wow, what am I doing? I mean, if this has just helped, one person to just step back and think for themselves and think differently than how these schools have taught people to think, because nobody's thinking as individuals in these schools. They teach us all our history. So why do we think they're going to teach us how to really think on an upper level? They're not going to teach our young men how to be men, how to be great, how to stand up, how to have mental fortitude to where no matter what somebody says, if you are strong in your belief and you are strong in your research, your knowledge, your education, and your intellect, that it's going to take a strong person to combat that, because you are mentally prepared. School's not going to teach you that. You learn that at home. So thank you guys. Please share the videos. Please subscribe. I guess I'll just keep doing this as long as you guys are telling me you want it. It's making sense. I don't believe in wasting time. So to me, this is definitely worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about tonight is step parents being all in. Developing the kids a little bit. Just gonna touch on that a little bit. And then parent, getting the consent of the other parent for the other parent to be around, for the new parent to be around. We'll talk about that. So it's gonna be a little touching. I'm not gonna use any resource material this time. Normally I'll look up to find words. I'm not gonna do that today. And I'm not gonna do that today because I have first-hand account, first-hand knowledge. Been there. It wasn't a great experience, but I've learned from it. So check this. So just like I give you the definition of a word, I'm going to give you some back history in order to validate and substantiate what I'm about to say, so you can see that you can take what I'm saying to the bank, cash it, and you will be paid, because this is true, real talk. So I went to live with my dad. Great man. Says if you're going to play sports, son, you're going to be better than that. Had me play the bass violin. 4 years. Yep, bass violin. Best thing ever. During that course, I improved how I spoke because I was around my counterparts. Improved how I walked, how I stood, how I carried myself. Because I wasn't going to look down on them. It's not what Laces did. So here comes the step parent part. My dad gets in a bad car accident, has memory loss. Now it's just me and this lady. Calls herself my stepmother. Adopted a child. Things didn't go right. Wasn't no love. She would yell at me, she would scream at me, but she would never do that to her adopted daughter. So there was a day she slapped me one day. Hey, didn't say nothing, let it go. Second time, a friend of mine sitting in the bedroom on the bed. So she comes into the doorway. I say, hey, can I go spend a night at Billy's house? She says whatever. She closed the door. We're talking about something else. Lord is my witness. She thought we said something about her. I was standing up. She came in and she slapped me, tried to grab my throat. Talking about her, and we were both saying, now mind you, this is in front of a friend, my best friend. All that happened, and that was my experience with a step parent. My only experience. But what I knew is I would never be that kind of parent or step parent. I would treat whomever's child as if they were my own, in which I've done, and I've always done that. I don't believe in baby talk. I don't believe in that, well, let's find out what's going on. No, let's sit down and let's talk. Let's talk like you're talking to adults, because we aren't equipping our youth to handle issues because we keep talking to them like they're babies and kids. Well, these are grown-up issues in these streets. So you need to talk to them and treat them like grown-ups when you sit down and you're talking about solutions. They need to start preparing their mind. And they can't do that with you talking to them like kids. It's tough out there. They don't care if they're kids at all. So parents, you have to equip your child to be ready to deal with that. And what? Oh, I'm going to wait till they get a certain age. Well, then you just failed them. You don't know how long it's going to take your child to develop a strong mind. You don't know if you're going to get it right the first time. So you're not even giving yourself any error room to help build your own child. You're What, you gonna wait till they're 13 and start trying to develop a strong mental state of being able to stand on their own? No, you can't. Because then you have a child wearing the same thing, sagging pants, wearing, showing they shorts or drawers or whatever, like everybody else, like that's cool. But that's because we as parents did not start when we were supposed to. You start as soon as possible. And stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. So, that was my experience with a step parent. Step parents, we got to be all in. You have to actually be more in with that child than your own biological child. And you're probably asking me, what? What are you talking about? Because you have to build the relationship with that child, man. You got to build the trust. You have to build the concern that you're wanting that child to have for you. You have to build the respect. They have to know you'll be there. So for you step parents out there, have you built a real bond with your stepchild that's in the house with you? Have you built a real bond? Have you sat down and helped mature them in any way? Are they the same way this year as they were last year? If you can say your child is basically acting the same this year as they did last year and the year before, they ain't growing. That's 2 years of nothing. We have to do better. Step parents, you got to get in it. You got to do more because you're expecting to not replace anything, but you're expecting to be seen in the same light as the biological parent. I'm not gonna lie. You may not have to call me dad, but you're gonna see me as dad. But I have to be emulating what a dad is in that home. Talking to you. Telling you wrong from right. I wasn't the best at that in the past, but I was young. So as I got older, I got better. Which we all do. If you're learning from your mistakes. Step parents, you gotta get in it. You gotta listen to the child. You gotta figure out if that's for you. It's tough because you're gonna have to deal with discipline issues. It ain't your child, so it's a little different conversation. But if you're passionate about it, if you're gonna raise that child like you raise your own, and you know you're going about it pretty decently, you don't waver that. Period. You don't change what's right for what's wrong because somebody doesn't know what they're saying is wrong. You don't waver it. You may have to sit back and let somebody bump their head, but you don't waver. So expect better from your kids now. So then later, they'll expect better from themselves. Expect better from your kids right now, so that later they will expect better from themselves. Real talk like that. So if you aren't expecting much from your kids, don't expect them to expect much from themselves. But if you expect proper behavior in public, you expect respect at home, to be spoken to with respect, to be spoken to as the parent and not the sibling. You have to be a parent and be a good parent, then a friendship develops. Not develop a friendship and then hope somewhere down the line your parenting kicks in. It's not the way to do it at all. So, step parents, be all in. You are stepping into a role where there's something that could be there with that child, seeing you there, man or woman. And you have to be understanding of that. You have to be patient. You have to be nurturing. But you also have to be progressive in developing that child, letting that child understand that, hey, you are my goal. Having you be the best you can in life is my goal. and I love you and I care for you, but here's how we're going to go about that. Maybe you stay with that person, maybe you don't. You can't stand by and watch a wreck without saying look out and feeling bad. So why would you do that if you could do something about it? Share that information. So step parents, be all in. Treat that child, and I know this is gonna sound funny to some, you have to treat that child better than your biological child, because you don't have to build a bond with your biological child. You already got it, but you have to build a bond with this child, and you have to do what you have to do. And if you are committed, it's not a problem for you. It's not a problem for you. So step parents being around, let's say you guys are together. Say that the other parent, may still, like the ex, or just feel some kind of way. It's not your new person's concern. That's another person on the street to him or to her. So when we talk about those parents meeting, there's two things that can happen. That other parent can be an adult and can say, hey, I know you're around. Here's my expectation of you. This is my child. Here's what I will and won't allow. Cool. As men, you can have that conversation and say, hey, I totally agree. And you can create that bond of respect. Nobody said but bond of respect and understanding. It's maturity. It's grown man stuff. Grown woman stuff too. So let's flip that. What if you got somebody that's not like that? Got a woman that's said derogatory stuff. That's vindictive, that's talking down, that's picking the child, that's thinking about nothing positive from the situation. There's somebody good on the other side. The guy, same way. Talking down, saying these different things, and just showing how immature that particular person really is. So do you not allow that new person to come around sporting events, concerts, graduations, because of the childishness of the other person? Think about it. Does the new person not come around and support their stepchild to then be able to observe what's going on, create that bond, and later at home or wherever talk about, hey, you did a great job, or help them to improve whatever they didn't do as well? That's a bond that's being missed because that person is not there. The support is not there. So you let the person, male or female, that hasn't really matured or grown to their age, control the situation? Or do you say, hey, you know what? It's because of the child. I don't want the child to see, grown ups to do this or those kind of things. Is that viable? You can't use that. You can't have a child be responsible for how adults need to act. Hold those adults accountable. And here's the thing, that other person is no longer with you, men and women. So stop worrying about what they think. Stop it. The person that you're with is who you worry about. Period. That is who you expect a certain type of response from. That's who you expect to react a certain way, who you expect to be the bigger person to. If you're saying you're a man, you want to be a good man and example, you do it in times where you have to show up and show out at being a man. Not when it's easy for you. That's where you build character. That's where you drive home the definition of yourself. When the time calls for you to really be that, that's who shows up. It's real. That's real. So, think about that. Do you keep your new spouse or your new man from being around because of that person? So you're still allowing that person to control your life? Who do you think's unhappy? Since apparently you're making that person happy. Who's unhappy? But who are you responsible for making happy? Think about that. Men and women, and to ask two people to meet that you know don't like each other. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. If you know that some kind of words have been had, that's ridiculous. They do not have to like each other nor speak to one another, but respect one another because they have the same common goal. But that is not the new person's responsibility. That is no longer your responsibility. And in fact, if you are making it your responsibility, your relationship is in jeopardy. You may not know it, but it is. It is. And you have to fix that. You can't let that person ruin your relationship. Man, I've seen it, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy. So would you prefer the new person that you're with to unexpectedly show up somewhere you thought the other parent wasn't going to be, and him and her, they run into each other? The two ladies run into each other, the two guys. Now you just set your wife, your new wife, or your new man, now you just set them up for failure. You know why? Because they were not prepared for that. They were not mentally prepared to be able to cope with what they're about to see. So you have set them up to not be at their best. And it is your fault. And you should own that. Because if you think about things, that's something they're going to have to deal with. So why not deal with it sooner than later? They don't dictate anything. Who cares how they act? But being prepared, control the situation as much as you can, because at the end of the day, what you can control 100% is yourself. Real talk. You may not be able to control what that person does, but you can control yourself. And that's when you elude the essence of growth of a man, and you really let ignorance stand out. And it's not the person roaring that you should be afraid of. We're animals at our core, Homo sapiens. At our core, we are animals. Have you heard a lion circle prey, jaguar, tiger, any of those majestic animals look at their prey and make noise? They size it up. They devise a plan. They're prepared. They're ready. So when it's time to act, there is no room for error. Goal is accomplished. That's the key, being prepared. So know who you're with, guys. The person that you used to be with, they can't matter like that. You're putting your relationship in jeopardy. The new person that you may be with may or may not be saying something, but they're feeling it. Human. And if you're worried about how a situation like that will go, then set it up. You and that person go to somewhere where the other person's gonna be with the child. You gotta deal with it sometime, but deal with it when you're prepared. So you're ready as a unit, as a team. Because to not grow and to not move forward with something that serious when you are a step and you're really needing to dig in and be all in, then how does waiting help? How does waiting help? It doesn't. It hurts it. So you have to think about that. At what point does your ex no longer control your life? Men, at what point does your ex no longer control your life? Dictate things about your new wife, your new girlfriend, where she can and can't go. Being around that child. This come on, man. This is real life, man. Somebody that say I don't want somebody around my child is stupid. It's like saying I'm gonna drive my car 365 days a year and it better not rain. That's what it sounds like. Ridiculous, ludicrous. So, step parents, be all in. Dedicate yourself to the growth of that child. Remember to expect better of that child so later they'll expect the best out of themselves, better out of themselves. Guys and girls, if you're allowing your ex to still influence your new relationship, it's a matter of time before your new relationship begins to fall apart. There's only so much a person is going to take from an entity that has no value. What's that value to you? You have to pick and choose. You make some tough decisions. And here's the thing about the right decision. The right decision is never easy, nor common, nor popular. But it is always the right decision, and the right decision will always prevail in the end. But do you have the strength, the endurance, and the awareness to make the right decision when everything looks like the right decision is the wrong decision? Most people don't. These broken relationships and these bad kids are evidence of that. Which kind of parent are you gonna be? Still a lot of exes to influence the new one. Remember that great man, great woman? Are you keeping your partner from being great? Because I guarantee you that kind of situation is probably keeping them from being good. Let the influences of your relationship be you and your spouse and the kids. Do not allow these exes to influence your relationship to the point to where you are arguing over it, or there is a problem or turmoil because of somebody that has no significance. If you have feelings for him or her, that's the problem. Say you don't, but maybe that love is still there a little bit. You got to figure it out. Even if the love isn't there, then why do you care about how they reply? You shouldn't. You should care about who you're with now, because if that's the case, you should have stayed with her. You should have stayed with him. So I know this is a little lengthy, guys. Again, my experience with steps was bad. I've heard some bad things. I've heard some good things. But you got to be all in step parents. You got to do more than you probably did for your own child, because you have to build with your stepchild, and it's worth it. Meeting would be great if you're dealing with two adults. It'll work out good. But if you're not dealing with two adults, then that other person doesn't matter like that. Do not have surprise situation. Plan a situation. Be prepared. Talk about it. If this person does this, we will do this. If that person does this, we will do this. You are a team. Act like a team. Perform as a team. Move like a team, and you will be successful. But if this person does this, and you do that, and they're doing that to make that happen, you are not a team, and it is a matter of time before there's other parts of the relationship that you stop being a team with as well. Everything has to be together. You can't pick and choose. We're gonna be a team on this and we're not in this. Stop letting other people influence your relationship, especially those exes. They're an ex for a reason. Their feelings still matter. Should have stayed with them. Think about that, ladies. Think about that, guys. So it's KQ signing out, keeping it real. Stop worrying about people that shouldn't matter. And if you're allowing people that shouldn't matter to matter, then that other person is not the problem. You're the problem. Think about it.